Hey, live. Hey, good morning. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. It is Friday. I don't know about you, but I'm so happy it's Friday. 5:34. This show episode 60 for my podcast listeners out there. And good morning. It's a happy Friday. Good morning. Tomorrow's weekend. Except though every day we do our 5 a.m. Mester Scrum, even Saturday and Sunday, because I get up early because the kids aren't up and I can do stuff before all the unplanned work comes onto the deck. Just like when people go to work early, they go to work early so they get stuff done before everybody else comes in and rolls in and gives them a bunch of other things that they didn't want to do right now. Anyway, so it's show 60. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. I'm Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach, just sharing Agile adventures and things we do and Scrum adventures. And hopefully you guys will give me more comments, feedback. I have conversations with everybody all the time, so trying to bring a lot of that into this show. And just to kind of continue on from yesterday a little bit, and we will have themes and trends and carryover from things that happen. So PI event, I talked about the other day. I have like 5 days. So I went through 2 days so far. I got another day of it today for another group. And then I got 2 more days of it for another group tomorrow. And in there, you interact with other Agile coaches from different areas that are supporting it and things like that. Me, I'm just helping a couple teams that I know and supporting the organization when they need help doing stuff. And I'll just give you another visual. I gave you the visual the other day of the development team on one side of the room and the business on the other side of the room. It's on my mind. I had to post a picture somehow. Anyway, it's up there, and there's space in between. This giant gap, right? And how well are they really working together? I don't know. Then yesterday was another one that occurred that was just as amazing. I'm in a room just supporting a team, listening to what's going on, observing, and I'm going to talk about coaching in an event, the way my perspective is, and everybody's different, but I'll give you mine. I see one group's in there. They're all sitting in this room. It's a big room. And then this other team comes in during PI. They're going to talk about dependencies, right? So they come in. It so looked like, if you've ever been to a family reunion or dinner or larger family event, like you're at your grandparents' house, you have cousins, right? And you ever been to one as a kid, at least for me and some people. It's like, and I actually went to a wedding, and the young kids, I have all these cousins. I didn't know I had all these cousins before. And they, the other people came into the room, and they looked around. They were eyeing up everybody. I mean, the visuals were amazing. I said, I wish I could videotape this stuff because it would just be so beautiful. And just, yes. They look around the room and they had this look on their face like, who is this? And let me eye up this other team. And who are these people? I have never met them before. Oh, I have a relationship with these people. I never realized it. This is the first time we met. It's like meeting cousins for the first time. So who are you and how are you related to me? You're my brother's sister's brother, family, uncle, something. And one of these large reunions. Oh yeah, I'm related to your mother. You're on your father's side, mother's something, right? So everybody had this look like they're like your cousins. Oh, I can hang out with you. Oh, okay, we have a relationship. Yeah, it's called dependency, and it's just like, it's sad that it has to come to a PI event, which happens once a quarter, for this kind of interaction to happen. And the one thing that really dawned on me in a lot of the things is like, I just wish these interactions would happen more often, just so it wouldn't look so awkward. I mean, it was It really did look like families getting together at a family reunion, cousins who have never seen each other, but realize for the first time they actually have a relationship with each other and what that relationship really is supposed to be. And that's what it looked like at the PI event. And it was amazing, the expressions. They were eyeing each other up. I mean, it was amazing. Anyway, but that's what you see at these events, the dynamics between teams and people and how they interact, especially when they haven't really done it in a while before. Even though they've had these PI events at this location for a while, but it was just interesting to see that. It really did look like a bunch of cousins meeting at a family reunion. This is fine. So anyway, so I'm at the event. So coaching at events. So I'm going to talk about that, and then I'm also going to talk about unrecorded work. I personally, there's a couple things that has to be done if you're coaching at an event. One, you have to be invited first before you start coaching. I see coaches come into these events and start barking out orders and start coaching right off the bat, but they didn't ask the coach. My big violations, like, can I coach you? And they weren't invited to coach, and they just come in here and start coaching. It's like, no, that's not how you do it. Everybody tells me, like, I have bosses say, go help them. This is one, I got to make sure I'm invited to help them and that they really are ready to take my help. A lot of times I just go there. They know I'm there. I just make sure they know that I'm available if they have any questions on what to do and help them out. But a lot of times I'm just observing to see what's going on, the interaction, see how well they planned and prepared for the event. To be honest, if if I'm going to coach at an event like a PI event or something, if it's really not pre-planned that I'm going to introduce something at that event, I don't introduce stuff. Maybe other coaches do. Maybe they try to coach on the spot. It's just not a good thing. They're trying to get stuff done, maybe observing. They may have questions for you on how to do something in a particular way, and then you can help them or get some data or get some tools or bring something, be that mega scrum master or whatever. You need paper, pencils. You need me to get another team for you. You need me to do something with Jira or Rally, bring some data or show you where you're at. I could do that, right? And I have those skills. But I don't do it if it's not pre-planned. Like maybe I want to teach them something. But you don't teach in the middle of a PI event. One guy I know was trying to do that. I'm like, whoa. The other thing about that is that it's really not the event you get the most work done. It's pre the event that you get the work done. As a coach, you got to help them pre-event. They are in the moment during the event, and then post-event, you help them do a retrospective. It's not in the middle during the event. It's pre and post. And there's a facilitation class, and I talk about it, and it's funny. It's like, oh, why do I need to do this? You'd be amazed how many coaches, scrum masters, and all who don't do the pre and post, and they do so bad at it, and then the event itself is terrible. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to talk about coaching event. Really don't coach during the event if you're an Agile coach learning how to do this stuff, Scrum Master. You really do what you need to do during the event. You facilitate discussions. So you're facilitating what's going on, the interaction. But if you didn't pre-plan it, it's very hard to do it on the fly. It's very awkward. And I really don't advise coaching during the event. Even though I've seen some people try, just saying hello to people, let them know you're there, anything, that's fine. But again, you should also talk to the Scrum Master. And Scrum Masters carry the gate keys, right? They let you in and out. So make sure you talk to the Scrum Master and let them know you're there if they need anything. But you go through the Scrum Master. You don't go directly in the team. If they want you, they will ask for you. If not, you don't. Maybe I'm different. Maybe it's a different way of doing it. I don't know. They're more incapable people. Now, the other part I want to talk about is unrecorded work. Something I noticed during the teams, and one of the managers are picking them up too. It's amazing how many people present stuff and they write it down. And this is in general, not just event. And again, this is 5am Mester Scrum. Please like and subscribe. I forgot to say that in the beginning, didn't I? Episode 60. Hit the little bell. But unplanned work, this is, or unwritten work, right? Or unrecorded work. So many times I see teams saying, "Oh yeah, we're at 60%, 40% capacity, blah blah blah." I'm like, but what do you do for the other time, right? A couple things are going on here. One, it's work, and then you hear them talk about it during an event. Oh yeah, we got this project, Delta Mega Monster project. It's not written anywhere on your charter for the PI the next quarter. You didn't write anything about the Mega Monster project in your capacity or what you're going to do. You didn't even come up like, hey, we think we're going to spend 20% of our sprint on this. So did you really plan your group? So even if you have those kind of things that you don't really know enough, and say, I take my stories, and maybe this is different than everybody else. I don't know. I'm just talking about taking that account, so you know what you're going to spend, and you plan for investing time in this project, even though you don't know. Maybe you put shelf stories in those sprints, those outlying sprints, that says, if you do a 40-point, if your sprint's 40 points, let's say, just pick a number, 40 points, and you think you're going to spend 30% on this Megazoid project thing. And so then you put a 10-point story in. I know we use different pointing systems. Okay, then do it. I mean, it's okay. It doesn't hurt anything. I know we're not really pointing, and we're not using the numbering system, but it's okay. Just put a placeholder story in there because you don't know enough information, but you know it's coming down. It ain't ready now, but in 2 months or a month, it's going to come in and they're going to introduce. But we know the features. We just don't know the details. We don't know acceptance criteria. So then you're just committing. It says, I know I'm going to spend 30% of our time on this project. That's all I know. But you write it down and tell the bosses, all we know is we're committing to spending 30% of this project. If it doesn't show, we'll bring other work in and we'll work on it. If that doesn't work for you and you're the customer, you're the managers, then tell us what else you'd like us to do. I mean, but you need to record that you're planning to spend that on it. And it's amazing how many teams don't. The other thing is, I see, they put their dev work in there, right? But I'm really a proponent of documenting, and I do it for a couple of reasons, and we'll do it quickly because it's like almost 13 minutes into the show. Your business as usual or production support work. Some people are like, why do we put that? We don't do that. So, because you need to put that. Either you adjust your capacity for, which I really don't like doing. I actually like writing it down. I can go through a whole nother one. So let's say you spend typically 20% of your time. It's a big number, I know. Sometimes that happens. Okay, let's say 10%. 10% of your time doing production support. So if you have 40 hours in a week and you spend 10%, your capacity for that week is really 36 hours. And I know I'm using old numbers and not taking breaks, just using math, simple math. So you have 40 hours, 10% of it is production. So you take 4 hours out of that 40. So you only really have 36 hours to do dev work. That's one way to do it. I like to identify a story and a feature called production support. And the reason why I do it, this is why I do it. Later on, out of the systems, you can do polls on how much time the teams are spending on production support. You can put a tag, you can put a filter, whatever you want to do. You can call it, like, search for the word production or production support, or come up with some tag, PR, I don't know, PS. And you can pull that information out and give that as a piece of data to your bosses. So if you start at 10% and later on it's 20% and later on it's 30%, guess what? It's time to refactor your code. But it gives you data to tell your business people and your managers, hey, we're not really doing any dev work. Our production report work is growing so much that we're tracking it. And that's why I like putting stuff in there. And I really wish more people would do that. Oh, you should write that down. It's not that. No, you don't understand. From a long-term game perspective, that data, which you're not collecting because you're not putting in there, can be used to support more dev work to improve your product. Think it makes sense? I know it's radical, right? But I'm telling you, you take that. I'm a big data guy for forever. You take the data out of the system, which you're not recording now, so there's no data. You can't go to your boss. Hey, we're spending 20. Well, tell me how you know you're spending 20%. I don't know that, right? So you do that. But I see a lot of these teams not doing that. That the production and also regression testing and release testing and all this stuff. You really need to put stories. Like if you're doing a mega release or this outside group's dropping this release and you need to test to see to make sure it's not breaking your code or something, or you got a new customer and you're dropping a new customer set, make sure that the data quality is there, right? You need to put a story in there for like release planning for those who aren't doing the CI/CD yet. Put a release story in there, supporting a release, bugs, fixes, stuff like that, so that you can record how much of your percent of your effort every time you do a release is applied to that. And you minimize your dev work based on how big that release effort support's going to be. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with those two. So coaching, it's a pre and a post thing. It's a facilitation thing. It's how do you facilitate the success of a meeting, not during the event, unless you're one, invited, and two, pre-prep for it. Do not just jump in and coach things. That's bad, right? And remember, you got to be invited. They got to ask you to help them coach. Don't just coach. I've seen that. That's not good. And then unrecorded work. Record the work, right? Document a system. The data in there is your friend for your team to support what you think you need to do as a team. So don't hesitate to document it in the system. It will help you in the long run, okay? Just because it's not dev work. Oh, we can't point that. Tomorrow we're going to talk about spikes because I had a discussion about spikes and I got to write another one down because it just reminded me. But anyway, you all have an awesome Friday. It's Friday. Happy Scrumming. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Please like and subscribe. We're on the podcast. We're on the different social medias. Feel free to give me some questions and thoughts and what you want to talk about, and we'll bring them up. Okay? Now, everybody have a great day and happy Friday. Happy Scrumming. Take care. Bye.